What's up, guys? Sporting with Smitty here. Waited a week to do this kind of a wrap up for the whole season, but man, what a week it was. So let's get into it. First off, the game, it'll be quick. Patriots lose again, 17-3, finished with their worst record since 1992, where they went 2-14 in a season that was Dick McPherson's last year in New England, but it was split time due to health problems from him with Dante Scarnecchia, who is the legendary offensive line coach for the New England Patriots. Now, where is that to start? Bailey Zappi, 12 for 30, 88 yards, 2 interceptions. He was absolutely horrible in every way for this game. Zeke actually had a decent game. He rushed the ball pretty well for really what was given to him, unfortunately. And Rieger had one good catch for about 33 yards. Outside of that, it was a rough one. The defense was pretty good. They held in check. I mean, they've been pretty decent all season long, minus a few, of the issues. I just realized my December calendar. That calendar's still up from last year, but that's beside the point. But really the biggest, first, before we go to the humongous elephant in the room, there are a couple players that I do want to talk about here where they have been just outstanding in every way for the New England Patriots in their entire time since being in Foxborough. And this one's easy. The first one, it's Matthew Slater. Slater was a receiver drafted out of UCLA in the 5th round back in 2008. I know I didn't really know who he was, honestly, because I do remember watching the draft that year. I don't think I watched the rest of it, but I do remember reading about him, and I don't remember hearing and knowing too much about him. I just said, okay, 6 feet, kind of small for a receiver. So, but we have Welker, so. And, man, what more can you say about him? He became what any team needs in the NFL, and really on any level in any sport. He became one of the best leaders you've ever seen. From a fan's perspective, he is one of the best leaders you could ever see on any team. He led that special teams. I know towards the end the special teams was ugly, but you can't really, one guy can't really change disaster basically. But 16 years in the NFL, 10 Pro Bowlers, a record for special teamer, 2-time All-Pro, and most importantly, a 3-time Super Bowl champion with 2 other appearances, one against the Eagles and one against the Giants in 2011. I think he finished his career with 1 catch, believe it or not. That's pretty much it. He finished 1 catch, and I think it was in the AFC title game against Denver back in 2013 when we were really thin at receiver that year. But this was a guy who led the team in the post game locker room talks. He did it after every win, and I'm pretty sure he did it after every loss too. So what a guy to have in your locker room to really lead the team. And I hope he at least stays around the team in kind of like an advisor type of role. But, he's earned the right to just go home in peace, do his thing. Just what a player, what a leader, what a person. You could tell this guy was one of the best people that you could ever have in an organization that you're a fan of. Next up is a guy who I'm not sure is going to be back, but I would love for him to come back and finish his career off as a Patriot, and that's David Andrews from Georgia, drafted 2015. He's 31 years old, and I know a lot of people say, 31, that's not bad, but a guy who is legit in the trenches center. He's fighting every snap, and for a guy who has been around as long as he has and has seen now a lot of football. He's played at least maybe 3-4 extra seasons of football, or not 3-4 extra seasons. I would say at least maybe a season to 2 seasons extra of football because of how many playoff games he's been in. And this year he became the first Patriot since Joe Thuney back in 2018 to play every single snap offensively. Every offensive snap he was on the field for. So definitely something that you can look at. He's definitely a Patriot legend. He doesn't get a lot of respect in the mainstream. I mean, not a lot of centers do unless your name is Mike Webster. So, and Jeff Saturday, of course. But we'll see. I would like to see him come back. I mean, what a pick he was. Two-time Super Bowl champion. Nothing more you can say. I mean, you could tell from the pictures in the locker room and his post-game how emotional he was looking. So who knows if this was it for him? Who knows? But now on to the humongous elephant in the room. That's it. That is it. The greatest era, one of the greatest eras in sports, but definitely the greatest era in football of just pure domination, has officially come to an end. Bill Belichick, after 24 seasons as the head coach of the New England Patriots, is gone. He is no longer there. It's just, it's weird as a Patriot fan, as a younger generation, really, because, I mean, I was a part of the generation that was spoiled rotten, that has seen it all. I've really seen it all. I mean, not a lot of fans could talk about what they've seen and compared to what I've seen. So, I mean, man, last time we were looking for a coach, I think I was 3. So I'm 27 now. So, I mean, it's honestly weird. I mean, I know a lot of people, and I know myself included, I said, hey, I kind of want Bill gone at the end of the year. But now that it's here and now that it's happened, it's just like, kind of like a, man, you're kind of sad, but you're, what is the old saying? I mean, don't be sad that it's ended, be happy that it happened, something like that. But I mean, memories, the countless memories from the crazy decisions like benching Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl to releasing Lawyer Malloy, to giving Randy Moss a second chance, to all of the decisions over the time, good and bad. I mean, he did it his way, and he is going to be coaching, apparently, as per reports have been stating. He is wanting to coach one more time. A lot of rumors about the Falcons being thrown in there. I don't know. I'm just a fan, so, I mean, as a Patriot fan and a Belichick fan, I wish him all the luck. I mean, him and Brady created the greatest dynasty in NFL history. He changed the game. Not a lot of people know that, but he changed the game in his own way. It was his defense's being physical in the playoffs that caused us to have the. I know, people might hate this, but it's the rules that caused, or it's the physical play of the Patriots defense back in 2003 against the Indianapolis Colts, with their receivers being too physical, as the Colts were complaining about it, that had them change the rule for the illegal contact downfield. It changed everything to when touching a receiver downfield. It changed the game. His defense has changed the way you play on offense and really on and how you cover receivers now. Unfortunately, you can't really blame Belichick too much for that, because you can really look at the Colts and say, why were you complaining so much? And then when the rule change happens, you still went up to Foxborough and got curb stomped. That's just me, though. But, I mean, man, 200, what is it, 296 wins as the head coach of the New England Patriots. And, 100, it says 133 losses. So 296 and 133, that's including playoffs. I mean, man, we will never see this again. We will never ever see this again. With the way sports is nowadays, you're not going to see a lot of coaches stay in one spot anymore. It's just not going to happen. It's just not. I mean, we got Harbaugh now in the NFL. We also have, it's Tomlin in the NFL, unfortunately. We all know my feelings on Tomlin. So the 4 coaches in the 4 major sports right now, or at least 3, I would say, is you got Tomlin in the NFL. Obviously, you have Popovich in the NBA, which we don't know how much longer that's going to be, because he's getting up there in age as well. Um, Baseball. Honestly, baseball. I'm pretty sure. I think it's like Dave Roberts, maybe from the Dodgers, and even then, it's not really that long. And then hockey. Shoot, John Cooper from the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I mean, it's crazy. It's like the last. It's also kind of sad too because for my generation, it's kind of sort of the end of the line from football that we saw growing up. I mean, we lost quarterbacks. We lost. I mean, to retirement, obviously. Brady, Manning, Eli, Philip Rivers, Big Ben, all those great quarterbacks we saw just are no longer there. They're all gone. They've moved on, and now we're seeing coaches sort of move on as well. I mean, now you saw Belichick, you saw Carroll the day prior. In college, you had Nick Saban retiring. Like it's honestly, it's crazy. Like our childhood is slowly going away, and it's kind of sad. But you know what? I'm happy that I was around to witness a lot of greatness uh, in all sports, really. So, but Patriots not really taking their time in this whole process, according to many other reports stating that the contractually there was a deal made before I think last season that re-signed Belichick up until the end of next season in 2024, and then at that point they would decide to move on from him and move it over and give the reins over to Gerard Mayo, former linebacker of the New England Patriots, drafted the same year as Matthew Slater, our first-round pick in 2008. And he was a captain of the defense for, I believe, 6 years. He was an excellent linebacker, suffered some injury issues towards the end of his career, but a lot of linebackers do at that time, the guys who play that position, obviously. And he was a great linebacker for us who came back and joined the coaching staff in 2019. And the one thing you can honestly say about this team is that the defense was really the only solid part of this team. And I know you're going to say, oh, they were giving up points left and right. But yeah, these guys, as great athletes as they are, they're still going to get tired. And our defense was getting gassed a lot of the times during the season because our offense was just not staying on the field. So, but I mean, but there were times this year where you saw the defense and they played excellent. They played great. And it's just unfortunate. But, that's just how it is. But I mean, I'm excited for the hire. I mean, you're seeing a lot of the talking heads at this point in Boston doing what they do best, kind of being little piss ants and saying things like, "Oh, they did this too fast. I don't agree with it. You're giving a coach that has no prior head coaching experience." And I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking, at this point, you're being petty. You're being super petty at this point because I mean. Yeah. Kyle Shanahan, was he a head coach? No. He was, and he has one of the best, most complete teams in football right now. Mike McDaniel, he's in the playoffs. He had a stinker of a game yesterday, but was he a prior head coach? No. Even if you want to look at it and see John Harbaugh, yeah, he's been there for years, but what was he before he was head coach of the Baltimore Ravens? Can anybody answer that question? How about D'Amico Ryans? It's honestly it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous to already see them jumping on this guy's neck. He's already going to have one of the biggest jobs in recent memory, maybe even in football history. He's replacing an icon. He's replacing the man who won 6 Super Bowls for one franchise. You got to give him a shot. And I'm hoping they do. But unfortunately, the Boston media is very, very unforgiving. I look forward to seeing what Gerard Mayo could do. The first step in the whole what's next situation is you have to get an offensive coordinator before the draft. You have to be able, and rumor has it they're not hiring a GM anytime soon. Me personally, I think they're going to go with Elliott Wolf. He's already been in player personnel for the New England Patriots for the last few years now. So I think that you're going to have a promotion of Elliott Wolf, obviously Gerard, And the number one thing you got to do is you got to hire a new offensive coordinator, because I don't know if Bill O'Brien's going to be able to fit the scheme of what Gerard Mayo wants to do on offense. So you're going to have to hire an offensive coordinator, develop a scheme before the draft, and then look into the draft with proper glasses, basically, and decide what you want. Decide what kind of players do you want for this team. That's what I see. That's what I hope. That's what I'm thinking will happen, but who knows? Who knows? But this was definitely a season that I was not expecting. I was not expecting when we lost to Philly on opening day. I did not expect to come back in January and talk about Bill Belichick no longer being the head coach of the New England Patriots and us in a rebuild again. Was not expecting that, but that's where it's at. That's where it's at. And it is what it is. Just got to hope for the best. Our time in the sun is over. As a fan base for watching our team over the years, our time in the sun is over. That's just how it is. Sports changes. I'm excited to see what happens next. I'm excited to see what the team looks like next year. I'm very excited for it. Do I think we're going to win a division? Hell no. Hell no. Do I think we're going to pull Houston Texans and pull something out of our behinds and make a nice little shocking playoff run? No, I don't think that. So we'll see what happens. It's time for a long ride. It's time for the roller coaster ride that us Patriot fans of my generation have never seen and never experienced. So we'll see what happens. See you next time. See you next season. Go Pats.